Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Russell here, and this is just a quick video to let you know that the 10th application period for the Canada Worker Lockdown Benefit, which will actually be the second application for many people who have just been considered in a lockdown region, well, that is open as of yesterday technically, but the CRA had their phones closed throughout the new year, and they've just reopened it as of today. So today you're now going to be able to apply for this program if you haven't already done so. In today's video, we're going to go over what this actually looks like if you're applying via the CRA's website, as well as what phone number you can call now that this phone number is open if you need to apply through that method. But before we do, make sure to check out all of the links in the description, and specifically the Canada Money Mastery program, where I talk all about building wealth in Canada and how to manage your money and get started investing. So if you're interested in that, take a look there. But now let's switch over to this tweet from the CRA that says that their call centers were closed from January 1st to 3rd, and that telephone agents will resume their usual work hours on January 4th, which is today. Now, there have been a couple of complaints that this phone line has been very hard to get through to an actual phone worker there who can take your application. But if you do want to go that route and can't go in the route that we're going to explain later in this video, signing in through the CRA website, then the best number to reach them is right here on your screen in front of you here. It's 1-800-959-8281. But again, there are quite long wait times that a lot of people have been experiencing. And if you do choose to call, before you sit there on the phone for quite a long time on hold, you're going to want to make sure that you have these documents and this information so that by the time it comes up to you, they're not going to say, okay, you need to call us back. You need to go gather these documents. The first one is your social insurance number. Of course, you're going to need your full name and your date of birth, your complete address, and then also your assessed tax return, notice of assessment or reassessment, other tax documents, or to be signed into the CRA My Account, where you can access all of that tax information. Because again, for this one, you need to have filed your 2020 taxes. If you can log into your CRA account, all that information is there, but it's probably best if you can access that account to just apply online. And the CRA has actually updated their website to make things a lot more clear as to which province and which areas and regions are actually eligible for this benefit and for which weeks their zones were eligible. If you want to look at this for yourself, you can Google eligible regional COVID-19 lockdowns, but I'll show you what it looks like down here. They actually have a drop-down menu for all of these various regions. These are some of the regions down here that were actually in lockdown previous to the expansion of eligibility. Remember, they recently changed it so that a 50% capacity restriction actually equals a lockdown rather than a full-out lockdown. So these are the regions that were in lockdown before that, and then these are the regions that are now currently under this broader eligibility available for this benefit. And for most of them, it's 2 periods. That's why I've sort of said at the beginning that this is your second application for most people, period 9 and period 10, because period 9 was the first period for which those broader application guidelines were open. So you can see that Alberta, BC, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador, Nova Scotia, Nunavut, Ontario, Prince Edward Island, as well as Quebec, all of those regions, the entire province, all regions in those provinces are eligible for this Canada Worker Lockdown Benefit, excuse me, if you meet the other eligibility requirements. If your province isn't listed here as ongoing, well, then it's likely that your provincial government hasn't declared a lockdown based on the guidelines and the definitions put out by the federal government. So that may change in the future. And if it does, you're actually able to qualify for a lockdown all the way up until mid-February, I believe, with these looser guidelines. And again, that's something that could be extended by the government if they chose to in the future, because they can amend that via regulation, not legislation. So even if they're busy doing other things in the House of Commons, if there's this ongoing health situation with the Omicron variant, well, then perhaps they'd extend this further so that people can keep on applying for the Canada Worker Lockdown Benefit. But here's hoping this isn't something that we're dealing with by the end of February. Now, by far, if you're able to, the best way to apply for this Canada Worker Lockdown Benefit is to sign in with your My CRA account. You can either do that by providing your username and password if you've already set that up, or signing in with one of their various bank partners, which will verify with your online bank banking password if you have that set up as well. But let's take a closer look at this. And when you see here at the COVID-19 support payments section, you can click apply for Canada Recovery Benefits. Even though the Canada Worker Lockdown Benefit isn't technically a Canada Recovery Benefit, it's still found under this menu. You can click that, and then it will actually sort of ask you questions to determine which benefit is right for you. So this can be helpful if you didn't know. There's also the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit and the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit, both of which are a higher amount than the Canada Worker Lockdown Benefit. So if that's something that you're eligible for, that might be the better route for you to go. But here you're going to answer these questions. The first one's you are unable to work because your child under 12 and so on and so forth. This one is referring to the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit. The one that says you are unable to work because you're sick, must self-isolate or quarantine, that's the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit, as well as here, this is the Canada Worker Lockdown Benefit, unable to work due to a public health imposed COVID-19 lockdown. So if you select that and click next, it'll take you to a list of eligibility criteria. This is something that it's important for you to read through and check off each one, so long it is as it is the case for you, because this is going to make sure that you are eligible and that it's not something that they're going to ask for back in the future if you said that you were eligible, but perhaps you weren't. Another important thing to note here, then they make some notes here down at the bottom, is first that you have to have filed your 2020 income tax and benefit return. That's the best way to go through here, so hopefully you've done that. And then also it's important to note that this benefit, just like the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit, Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit, and the CRB, all of this is a taxable income. So keep in mind that this could bump you into a different tax bracket, as well as making you pay a portion of this back. You'll note that they do withhold 10% of the benefit payment. In the case of this, it's $30 because 10% of $300 is $30, meaning you're going to get $270 per week. But that doesn't mean that all of the tax you're going to pay on it is covered and is handled with that $30 they take. That's only 10%. Most people will be paying above 10% for their taxes on their income. So if that's the case for you, you may have to pay above and beyond the 10% that is held back. So make sure you're keeping that in mind for, I guess it would be April 2023 that you'd be paying for it at this point, but the same goes for the Canada Recovery Benefit and Caregiving Benefit and Sickness Benefit that you may have applied for in 2021. That's going to come up and be due in April of 2022. At this point, you'll go to this drop-down menu and click which periods would be right for you. Again, for most people who are under those like ongoing drop-down menus, it'll be December 19th for the first period if you haven't done that yet, as well as December 26th to January 1st, because remember, we apply for these periods after they've happened. So now that we've reached the Monday, or technically now Tuesday because of the holiday for many of the government workers on Monday, you can apply for this period now that we're on the first technical Monday after that period has completed. Now, beyond that, they may, based on the answers that you've given, ask for you to verify other details to make sure that you are eligible. So do expect in certain situations for you to have to provide additional documentation. This is something the CRA is taking a little bit more seriously this time around, because there was a lot of instances during the CERB of people applying who weren't eligible and then being asked for this money back when they may have already spent it, and this was many of the lowest income Canadians who claimed it. So it's kind of like getting money back, like drawing blood from a stone, I think is the saying. It's tough to get money back from people who are struggling to get by on the money they do have. So although it is an inconvenience to provide this additional details, it's sort of covering your back that they're not going to ask for this money back from you in the future. So do expect to give some additional details here. But that just about covers the whole application process, whether you're doing it on the phones, which are now open, or the My CRA online option. Definitely the better option and the quicker option if you can at all in any way do that. But I know that there's going to be lots of comments and questions, so let me know down there in the comment section, and I'll try to get back to as many questions as I can. I read every single comment, so I appreciate it when you let me know what you think down there. And while you're down there, check out the links in the description. Like I mentioned, the Canada Money Mastery Program is me sort of teaching everything I know about money management and how you can sort of set yourself up to be more wealthy in the future and have a more solid financial foundation. So if that's something you're interested in, take a look at that, or any of the other links where you can open up investment accounts, and as well buy cryptocurrency if that's something you're interested in. But with all of that said, thanks so much for watching this video, everyone. I really hope this video has helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time.